Hi everyone, my name is Sarah Jacob, and this is my persuasive speech on process versus product art. Let them create, not imitate. The power of process art. When we choose perfection, we let them paint over imagination. Process art puts the brush back into the child's hands, letting creativity, not instructions, lead the way. First, let's start with the blank canvas and talk about what each type of art means. Product art, in simple terms, is a project or a piece of art that has an end result. And I will show you example here. Here are two examples of product art, and obviously you can tell there was an end result and what the end result exactly was. Process art is more open-ended and allows more creativity. I will show you some examples here. So here are two examples of what process art is. On the one on the left, you can tell it was a multimedia and then there was no end result. The one on the right, you can tell was the same project, but how each one looks completely different here. Now that we have talked about what each one means, I would like to sketch out the differences between the two. So the two differences, process art is there is no specific way to do it. There is no right or wrong way. It is more open-ended. There is no finished or end project, and there is no instructions. It allows for more exploration and more creativity. Product art is teacher guided, instruction involved. It focuses more on end result, and there is a little bit of pressure on the child to meet said model or example, but it does still use and allow for fine motor skills and step guide instruction following. Now that we have sketched out the differences between the two, let's go in and dip our paintbrush into some vibrant colors and talk about how it affects them developmentally. So I would like to talk about fine motor first. Fine motor allows them when they are cutting scissors, using brushes, or ripping up papers to really help those little muscles grow. It helps cognitively because the development by exploring materials and making choices. It helps the language because we are using expressive talking and they are telling us what they are doing. It helps emotionally because it allows them to express themselves through colors, textures, paint, and collage pieces. It gives them an outlet, a way for them to create, no pressure. When we give them freedom to express, we give them their independence and confidence that they need back. Next, I would like to talk about some projects that I've done in my classroom and examples of process art. So these are some projects that I've done in my classroom. This is pumpkin stamping. We actually did use the inside of an apple. We gave them a white piece of paper and more than one color. So we gave them more oranges and reds to do their pumpkin. Once the paint was dry, we did let them use googly eyes and a marker to make their own faces to make it even more process. With the leaf man, we read the book and they got to create their own leaf man. We did give them sticks, googly eyes, and pumpkin seeds, and we used liquid glue for more fine motor, and they really did thoroughly enjoy this. This next project was one of my favorites. This was a scented painting. So what I did was I put banana flavor, maple flavor, and orange flavor into the actual paint itself. And they could really smell it as they were putting the paint on the canvas. And it did really allow a lot of open-ended conversations of what it made them think of, what they thought of when they smelled it. Also, as you can see, each painting is completely different, allowing them to have their own identity. And next, I would like to go into a quote of what I find also very important. When we free a child's potential, we allow them to transform into the world. So allowing creativity gives them the independence that they will need farther in life. We have letting kids be kids, let them create, not imitate. We have now painted a full picture and get to a better grasp on why process art is so important to our children and their development. So I have covered what each type of art means. I have covered and pointed out their differences. We have talked about how it improves kids developmentally. I have also given my own personal experience on process art. Process art is better for kids because it nurtures creativity. It allows them to grow emotionally and cognitively. It helps them think beyond the art table. When we put the brush back into the artist's hands, we aren't just giving them back the paint, but the power, the purpose, and imagination. Thank you guys for joining me. I hope that gives a little more to think about. I hope you all have a great evening. Thank you so much for joining me.